Welcome to Shujin Academy VGM Club. I'm Professor Tom, your faculty sponsor. Today's opening track is Space Cruise, the title theme from FTL Faster Than Light, composed by Ben Prunty. I am freshly returned from my bar fight tour of Belize, where I got sent to the hospital a couple of times, but some other guys got sent to the morgue. I am refreshed and ready to go with a whole new episode. And it is June, or at least it's June when I'm recording this. I don't know when you're listening to it. But for Professor Tom, who is me, right here, right now, it is June, and just like last June, I'm joining together with a bunch of other game music podcasts to do a big collective fun thing we call Masters of VGM. Last year's theme was The Four Pillars, where we did shows about the four greatest VGM composers of all time. This year, our theme is Unsung and Up-and-Coming, where we're talking about composers that have done excellent work in the past that went mostly unnoticed, and modern composers doing great work in the world of VGM. I liked that 4 composers theme from last year, so I'm going to mostly borrow that for this episode. I have 2 honorable mention composers that bookend the show, plus 4 full-blown Masters of VGM. I opened the show with a track from my first honorable mention, Ben Prunty. I think of him as the composer for FTL, Faster Than Light, a roguelike spaceship management sim that I've poured over 130 hours into. But he's also the composer for Into the Breach, Subnautica Below Zero, Photographs, Dead Secret Circle, The Dark Side Detective, Starcrawlers, Dead Secret, and Gravity Ghost. He'd earn inclusion here just for FTL's soundtrack alone, but his other work is also excellent and you should check it out. For my first honored composer, I'm picking Megan McDuffie. She's got a great synthwave style, and she's a sultry vocalist in addition to her composition work. She's probably the best known of this episode's VGM masters. I know she's been mentioned on at least one other podcast in this series, and she's worked on a ton of indie games in addition to being a composer for film and TV, and also recording multiple solo albums. Most notably for me, she's done music for River City Girls and River City Girls 2, which I loved because I love River City Ransom and all of the related Kunio-kun goodness. In addition, she's worked on a whole bunch of other games. Her credits include several games in the Atari Recharged series, where Atari reworked some classics from their library with modern graphics and gameplay concepts. Plus, she's worked on Streets of Rogue 2, Apex Legends Mobile, Aeon Drive, Evolutus, Diamond Vortex, Oslo the Professional, Legend of Rune, Hostile Takeover, Street Magic, Sweet Alchemy, and probably a few others that I missed. I actually debated whether or not to include her here because she's done so much, but it's my show and I make the rules, and so I'm going with her. Miss McDuffie has also done quite a bit of licensed work for film and TV, and I would like to thank her and her website for having such a detailed biography that this part of my job was really easy. To start our first music block, I'm going to play An Army of One from Yars Recharged. I'll follow that with The Hunt from River City Girls. Fun fact about River City Girls, one of the bosses is a rock star named Noise, and there are several vocal tracks on the soundtrack that are intended to be songs from that boss. I think that is cool as hell, and not only did Megan McDuffie compose this track, she also did the vocals. We're going to close out the block with a pair of songs from River City Girls 2, Feel the Heat, and then River City Girls 2, which is the game's opening theme, and it is cool as hell. Time to punch some faces.
says to stray, but I won't let you get away. Can you feel me coming like a heart beating time? Keep on moving, hunting until you're mine. Fueled by the chase, I'll win. You know I'll never give in, give in. Can you feel me coming like a heart beating time? Keep on moving, hunting until you're mine. Can you feel me coming like a heart beating time? Keep on moving, hunting until you're mine. One moment and you're gone, but I'll find you for too long. Can you feel me coming like a heart beating time? Keep on moving, hunting until you're mine. Temptation says to stray, but I won't let you get away. Can you feel me coming like a heart beating time? Keep on moving, hunting until you're mine. Fueled by the chase, I'll win. You know I'll never give in, give in. Can you feel me coming like a heart beating time? Keep on moving, hunting until you're mine. Can you feel
Those songs were An Army of One from Yars Recharged, The Hunt from River City Girls, Feel the Heat from River City Girls 2, and we closed out the block with River City Girls 2, with 2 spelled T-O-O, from River City Girls 2, spelled T-W-O, all composed by Megan McDuffie. That last track also featured Christina Vee and RichaadEB. I'm going to keep things moving here and play a block of songs from my second master of VGM, Garoad, also known as Michael Kelly. He's only composed a handful of games, of which Valhalla is probably the best known, and definitely the soundtrack of his that I have played the most. And hopefully you didn't get too much synthwave in that first block, because most of Garoad's work has a neon-drenched synthwave feel. He's definitely got a signature sound he works with, although he can do some departures when the mood strikes him. I really like his stuff, and I've actually taken the time and money to go to his Bandcamp page and purchase all his soundtrack work and all his standalone EPs and singles, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same for Garoad and today's other featured artists, because musicians need money to survive in our capitalist nightmare dystopia. Garoad has only done 3 game soundtracks to date: Valhalla, Yuppie Psycho, and the yet-to-be-released Bushiden. Valhalla and Yuppie Psycho are both set in dysfunctional late capitalist states that are even worse than the one we live in. Valhalla is a bartending simulation and visual novel, while Yuppie Psycho is an adventure horror game about getting ahead on the corporate ladder. From what I can find about Bushiden, it looks like a retro-styled Metroidvania starring a cybernetic ninja. I think the developers played a lot of Capcom's ninja classic Strider growing up, and good for them! I'm going to do 5 songs from Garoad in this next block. To start out, it'll be 2 songs from Bushiden. First, Fire in the Sky, and next, Sinister Science, Act 1. After that, I'll play 2 songs from Yuppie Psycho. The third song in the block is Tooth and Nail, and the fourth song is Sintranet, and those 2 songs are a good example of how this soundtrack is split between horror music and stuff that's a little more chill. My VGM podcasting buddy Hammock from KVGM did an entire deep dive into the smooth Yuppie Psycho tracks on one of his Patreon exclusive episodes, which was cool listening, and I think his Patreon is worth signing up for. To close out the block, I'm going to play a song that's actually an arranged version of one of the tracks from Valhalla. It's called Shine Spark, and within the game, it's actually one of the songs sung by the game's pop idol character, who shows up at the bar for a few drinks. It sounds like something you'd hear in a 90s cyberpunk anime, where the giant robot pilots go to a pop concert, which is exactly what it should be. This version of the song is not actually in the game or on the soundtrack album. Instead, it's from the Valhalla Bonus Tracks Collection EP, which consists of arranged tracks and remixes from the game. I've been looking for a reason to play this song forever, and now is as good a time as I'm gonna get. Enjoy!
in that dark. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Stand up, let me hear you. Rise above the fear and break through. Hold the light near you. Keep it shining all night long. Hands up, let it free you. Darling, let it shine within you. I guarantee you, you are right where you belong.
Those songs were Fire in the Sky, followed by Sinister Science Act 1, both from Bushiden, and then there was Tooth and Nail and Sintranet, both from Yuppie Psycho, and finally we closed out the block with Shine Spark from Valhalla, all composed by Garoad. And now for a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Dopamine Rush Saga, the newest mobile game sensation that everyone has to check out. Win by clicking the buttons to do the things, see explosions of color and light, and forget all about everything else. Only Dopamine Rush Saga is real now. Nothing else matters. So install Dopamine Rush Saga today and win! Get 20,000 free gold coins and 300 Neo Energy when you use promo code ProfTom in the shop. Now, back to the show. VGM Master number 3 is Andrew Jeremy, composer for Coffee Talk and Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. Of the 4 composers I'm featuring today, he's done the fewest soundtracks. He's only composed for the 2 Coffee Talk games, but those are such great soundtracks that I decided to feature him anyway. Most of what Mr. Jeremy has done is lo-fi chill music, as that's the majority of both Coffee Talk games soundtracks, and also what's on his solo album Back to Life. But like our last composer, Andrew Jeremy can and will branch out and do some other interesting stuff, and I'm going to try and make sure to capture that with a couple tracks from Coffee Talk too. We're going to start off with A Day with Coffee, and then Hot on Cold, both great lo-fi tunes from the Coffee Talk soundtrack. After that, I'll play 3 songs from Coffee Talk Episode 2. The third song in the block breaks up the lo-fi a little with Sweetheart Latte, which is a cool city pop song, and then we'll hear Night Road, which is a great smooth jam. Finally, I'm going to close out the block by going back to the lo-fi with Yours Truly. Now, pour yourself a cup of coffee and relax with some great tunes. Those songs were A Day with Coffee, and then Hot on Cold, both from Coffee Talk, and then Sweetheart Latte, Night Road, and Yours Truly, all three from Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. All the songs in that block were composed by Andrew Jeremy. The theme of Masters of VGM this year was Unsung and Up-and-Coming, and I feel like I've done a great job of covering some up-and-coming composers. But I also wanted to be sure and get in at least one unsung composer from back in the days of sound chips and pixels, somebody who was overlooked for various reasons. After exhaustive research, or at least something similar to research, I chose Hiroyuki Yanada, also known as Yanda. Yanada was a composer for Atlas who only has credits on a handful of games. I can't even find that much information about the guy on Google because he shares a name with some successful Japanese business executives. That or Yanada left the VGM world to start another career where he was super successful. I cannot tell. He's best known for his work on the Last Bible series. Megami Tensei Gaiden Last Bible 1, 2, and 3 represent 3 of his 5 soundtrack credits. He also worked on cheery arcade puzzle game Nanami Day Magic, and he worked on Jack Bros, another Megami Tensei spin-off game that's one of the shining gem soundtracks for the Virtual Boy. Yes, the Virtual Boy, Nintendo's ill-fated 3D console that sold approximately 25 units before being swept away and forgotten forever, so that failed Nintendo products like the Super Scope could point at it and say, "Hey, at least I'm not that guy." Only 2 of Yanada's games have official English translations. Jack Bros came out over here with its original title intact, while the first Last Bible game was released here as Revelations the Demon Slayer, so both of his North American game releases were for Nintendo portable systems. That said, I'd put Jack Bros right up there next to Galactic Pinball, which is typically considered the best Virtual Boy soundtrack. And Last Bible 3 is a solid soundtrack in my favorite VGM genre, JRPGs for the Super Famicom that were never translated into English. I've featured twice before on my show, and I think it deserves attention, so I'm going to play more of the Last Bible 3 soundtrack today. I honestly wish Yanada had composed more game music. I wonder what he would have done with some more Super Nintendo or PlayStation titles. For today's last music block, we'll hear BGM 18 from Last Bible 2 for the Game Boy, composed by Hiroyuki Yanada alongside Iwao Mitsunaga. After that, I'll play Temple of Nightmare Level 3 and Mecha Fortress Level 5, both from Jack Bros, and then I'll finish out the block with a pair of songs from Last Bible 3 for the Super Famicom, Garfy Service, and then Val Ship. Okay kids, let's all have some Bible time now. Those songs were BGM 18 from Last Bible 2, Temple of Nightmare Level 3, and Mecha Fortress Level 5, both from Jack Bros, and Garfy Service and Val Ship, both from Last Bible 3. All songs were composed by Hiroyuki Yanada, with a little help from Iwao Mitsunaga for that Last Bible 2 track. And that's the show. If you want to reach me, you can find me on Mastodon at Shujin Academy VGM Club at mastodon.coffee or on Discord as Professor Tom. I'm also on both Tumblr and Instagram as Shujin Academy VGM Club. You can email me at shujinacademyvgmclub at gmail.com. Episodes of my show are posted on my YouTube channel, which you can find by searching for Shujin Academy VGM Club. All my links to everything are available on my Linktree at linktr.ee/Shujin Academy. Please leave me a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're finding this episode. Look for new episodes on Thursdays whenever I get them done, which is typically once or twice a month. There are a whole bunch of links for today's featured up-and-coming composers in the show notes, and if you liked their music, I strongly encourage you to go buy some of their stuff. I know I did, and I was not disappointed. Special thanks for this episode goes out to fellow VGM podcaster Jameson of Bar Silence Podcast for contributing cover art. You can and should find Bar Silence wherever you download podcasts, and check out his website at barsilence.com. I opened the show with an honorable mention composer, and I'm closing it out with another one. Her name is Victoria Dominowski, and she's only composed one soundtrack. However, The soundtrack she wrote for her nostalgic visual novel Secret Little Haven is absolute perfection, and it deserves attention, just like the excellent VN that it comes from. Secret Little Haven is a very short game, but you can see that Tori put a lot of love and attention into every pixel of it. Playing through it made me yearn for the days in my life when I spent a lot of time on a smaller, better internet. I'm going to play us out with a couple of songs from Secret Little Haven's amazing soundtrack. It'll be Welcome to Sanctuary OS, and then Sunset on the CRT. Thanks for listening. I'm Professor Tom, and I'll see you next time on Shujin Academy VGM Club.